First and foremost, when you ask a question like, is Jesus coming back as AI, you've got some theological issues there that need to first be addressed. And the first issue is, if Jesus is coming back as AI, did he leave as AI when he ascended? Because Christ's return is obviously tied to his ascension after his resurrection. And one of the things the church has fought for centuries and millennia even is that Jesus rose bodily. He didn't rise spiritually. He didn't rise as AI. He didn't arise in some sort of metaphorical way. Jesus physically and bodily rose from the dead. And so to first answer the question of whether he can come back as AI is he would have had to have risen in some other way than bodily for that to happen. So number one reason I would say no, he's not coming back as AI is the simple fact that he rose bodily. He is sitting in heaven with the physical body. When he returns, he will return in a physical body. And you can only receive that by faith, but you got to take that for what it is. That's the facts of the resurrection. The second question that I would ask when someone says this, what does the Bible teach about the second coming of Christ? And the second coming of Christ is being taught as the sky will crack open. You will hear a trumpet sound. The whole world will look up into the sky and we will see him coming on the clouds. And again, this is not AI. The Bible doesn't speak of people putting on headphones, opening a computer, looking at some sort of device or tablet and seeing this AI Messiah. No, Scripture speaks of the Messiah coming, Jesus coming the second time, and us knowing for sure that it's him. And whether you're amillennial, premillennial, dispensational, whether you're looking for signs in the media or whether you think that we've been in the last days, we know that Christ is coming in a very real, tangible way. And we know that we'll be able to see it and we'll know it. And he will actually be back to reign. And again, despite your eschatological views, despite your views on the end times, when Jesus comes back, he's not coming back to be some sort of software or some sort of online program. He's coming back to rule and to reign and to rid the world of evil and sin and death. So to ask if he's coming back as AI is to ask an irrelevant question, because AI is not going to have a kingdom and a rule and a reign in the way that Jesus will when he returns. The next thought or the next idea that would cause me to say no to this AI question is the fact that when Jesus comes back, he's coming back with a final aim, a final end, so to speak, to basically rid the world of sin and death and all evil. And AI can't do that. Now, you know, you may have these theories of AI warriors and AI robots and humanoids, all that. But what Christ is coming back to do at his second coming is he is coming back to judge, to separate sheep from goats, wheat from tares, believer from unbeliever. So to say that he's coming back as a computer program would say, or, you know, as AI, whatever that is, would be to diminish what he's coming back to actually do with his final work. And we're not looking or waiting for the right program, device, video, none of that. We're looking for the king to come back and reign. The Christmas story is about a king, and the return, the end times, is about that king returning to get his bride, to have a marriage supper, and to reign and to rule. So we're not here waiting for, we're not waiting for something that has all this knowledge that you can run through a computer system and AI generated video and pictures. We're not looking for that. We're looking for something real, something tangible, someone who's going to have, bear the scars of redemption. He's coming back as a real person. And then finally, and this is where I think we get in the most danger when we ask these sort of questions or have these conversations, the end times are going to be filled with deceivers. They're going to be filled with people who say, I am the Christ, or I'm Jesus. And Joe Rogan's question doesn't take into account that, or his suggestion, I should say, that this may be an AI deception, because when AI says I'm Jesus and people follow, when AI says I'm Christ and people tune in and listen and buy the message, these people are being deceived, because Jesus is not coming back as AI. He's not promised to come back as AI. And it's dangerous grounds to make such a suggestion, especially for people who aren't biblically saturated, who aren't biblically trained and biblically literate, because if they follow this and an AI does pop up and say, I am Jesus, I am the Christ, I have returned, those people would be deceived. And we know how deceptive AI is just from watching the videos. They look realistic. They sound realistic. You can put prompts in there. And so I think the biggest danger, the biggest problem with what Joe Rogan is suggesting is that it's going to possibly be a grand deception, a great distraction. And this channel, the Undistracted Christian, exists to help people not be distracted, not be focused on things that don't matter, things that are insignificant. And I truly believe that sometimes I don't like to hop on these cultural trends and make videos about them, but I think there are times where we've got to watch out for distractions, because if we are distracted by every little argument, every little theory, every little idea, that's how we lose focus. That's how people drift and go astray. That's how people end up getting deceived. And so don't buy everything you hear. Don't even think, man, that could be plausible. Go to the Bible. Think about your theology. The church has existed for 2,000 years. There have been heresies wrestled with about the coming of Christ, about the end time, so we don't have to buy every new thing that the world tries to feed us. And it's the world. I hope Joe Rogan is just, shooting off the cuff. I hope he's finding Christ. He's talked to Wes Huff and some solid people. So I hope this is just a random thought, a random question versus him espousing something and spreading some message. And again, I don't really watch Joe Rogan like that, so I don't have a lot to say pro or con as far as him as a person or him as a thinker. But I do know that this is a very strange and unhealthy idea. So just wanted to share some thoughts, help you as undistracted Christians stay focused on what matters. So I'll catch you soon. Grace and peace.